Yeah, just first of all, can we just check on Dan Burns' fitness situation? Is he definitely out of this game? And are there any fresh injuries or illness concerns after Liverpool?
No, Dan's not definitely out. He's made really good progress, so we need to see a little bit this afternoon and maybe tomorrow. There's outside chance of him being involved. No fresh problems from the weekend. Danny Welbeck's making really good progress, as is Stephen Alzati, but won't be ready for the game, of course. But apart from that, we're all okay.
Obviously, intriguing situation at Newcastle right now. We still don't know whether they're going to have a permanent manager by the time they get to Brighton. But Eddie Howe is now the favourite. Would Eddie Howe be a good choice, do you think, for Newcastle?
Well, Eddie's a really experienced guy. He's been a fantastic Premier League manager. As to what Newcastle will do I have no idea, and I'm not really giving it that much thought. I've been concentrating on the team that we're going to play against. A team that's fighting for the points, that he's playing to their strengths, that he's at the moment been led by Graham Jones, who I know well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, and whatever Newcastle do is their business.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Graham Jones, but the next manager market still has your name on it as an outside shot. You can reassure Brighton fans it's not a job you're interested in.
Well, I don't know. It feels like pretty much any job that's available at the moment, my name seems to get thrown into it, it must be something that gets stuck in the computers or something. No, I've said before, I'm focused on what I'm doing here. Very happy here, and as I said, preparing for the game, preparing the team as well as we can to face a team fighting for the points.
Yeah, and you mentioned Graham Jones. You go back a long way with him, don't you? Your former teammates, and he recommended you for the job in Sweden. So how close are you to Graham Jones?
Yeah, he's my friend. I mean, I've known him for a long time. Boston was the first time we came across each other, met each other, played there for a short time, and we've kept in touch, followed each other's career, if you like, from playing to coaching. So I know him as a guy, and I know him as a football person. He's a fantastic friend. Been very supportive to me, very helpful, and I know his qualities. I know how competitive he is. I know how organised the team will be, motivated the team will be, playing to their strengths. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully I can send him home a little bit unhappy, but afterwards we'll have a glass of wine and we'll give each other a hug, I'm sure.
Sure. The performance at Liverpool, Graham, was so encouraging and so bold in the selection. You must be tempted to stick with what you had at Anfield and leave Mopé on the bench again. Is that a temptation this weekend?
Well, I agree that the performance was good. We need to also acknowledge that it's a completely different game that we play. So you have to factor that in. We're at home, we're playing against Newcastle, and they bring a different challenge than Liverpool at Anfield. So you have to take that into consideration. But I'm really happy with not just the starting 11, but the guys that came on, and the guys also waiting to try to come on the pitch and help us, because we've got a nice group at the moment, a competitive group. Everyone's trying their best. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay, and just on Wepu and that goal, I mean, what's that done for his confidence and his morale? That was spectacular, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he's had a really good week. I mean, he came on, won the penalty at Manchester City, scored against Leicester. So he's had an impact. He's had to be patient, and it's been a little bit frustrating for him because he's been ill and he's been injured, so hasn't quite got up to his full speed. But I think he's bringing more and more of himself to the game. Contributed at Liverpool in a really good way. So he's in a good moment.
Not sure if you can still hear me. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, I lost you a little bit there.
Yeah, sorry. Just one last question, Graham. Brighton have never lost to Newcastle in the Premier League, and Neil did score 3 times in the games last season. He's been a good player against Newcastle in the past. How has Neil reacted to being dropped last weekend?
Well, it's not about being dropped. It's more about what the right thing for the team is. He knows that we've got a squad that's competitive, that supports each other, and he's done exactly that, which is, like any player, you're not happy when you don't play. you want to help the team, you want to be on the pitch, but he's responded really well. He's supporting the team, he's supporting his teammates, and he's ready to help us.
Thanks, Graham. Good luck.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jez. We go with Naz next. Sorry, I think we lost you for a little while there, but I think it should be okay because I think PLP have got the stream coming through. So, Naz, if you want to go for it.
Okay. Hi, Graham. You okay?
Hi. Very well, thank you.
Great. Graham, you're 8th in the Premier League. Just outside those European spots. Are you surprised at how well the team are doing, or is this basically just a real statement of what you and your coaching team have done?
I don't think it's not about being surprised or not. It's just about knowing that we've been taking steps in terms of improving over a period of time. And as I've said many times, sometimes you get the results, sometimes you don't. A lot of the time last year, we probably didn't get the results that maybe our performances deserved. This year, it's probably flipped the other way, and we've managed to pick up some points. We want to be competitive in every game. We want to try and win. We want to try and pick up points, but we also know that the opponent is there fighting for them as well. So it's the league, it's the Premier League, but we're excited. We're excited for the game. We know we've got a lot to do. We can keep improving, but we're excited for the game on the weekend.
You've developed a really wonderful never say die team spirit. How important is it to keep that going?
Well, I think, it's. I would say it's vital, and it comes from not just the starting 11. Like I said, it comes from the group. We try to just always focus on the next thing, to not try to get too distracted with the scoreline or anything else that's going on that we can't control, to focus on what we can, and then give everything up to the final whistle, and then at the end of the day you have to take whatever the result is and then look to improve in the meantime. So that we've been quite consistent with that. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't, but that's again sport at the highest level.
The other thing I wanted to mention, Graham, is that you've got 10 different scorers and the team's really spreading the goals around. Is that part of the success that you're having as well, and how much of that is playing a part?
Yeah, well, I think we've tried to attack well as a team, and I think you have to defend well as a team. So we've spoken about clean sheets as well. We've had quite a few of those in the calendar year, and that's not down to a goalkeeper and defenders. It's about a team. It's about a team. It's about a group. It's about a collective attitude. And similarly with attacking, you want to try and attack well as a team. It's not about an individual if you're not scoring. It's about the team. It's about all of us trying to improve, and that's the mentality. That's the approach we've had.
And just finally, Leandro Trossard scored an absolute hurler the other week at Liverpool. Is he being encouraged to sort of shoot more often and maybe take a chance or two more than he was before?
I wouldn't say necessarily explicitly. It's more that he's maybe in a bit more of a central position. He's a bit more in an advanced position. So the opportunities come more. I think it's all about decision making. That's in the final third. What separates the top players with the good ones is that decision making and then execution in the final third when there's not that much time and space. And Leo's got the quality to execute and to decide, and it's just about putting him in those positions as often as we can.
Brilliant. I'll leave it there. Thank you, Graham, and best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
Graham, if I could just ask about one player, Aaron Connolly. He missed out completely last weekend, and he's now been left out of the Republic of Ireland squad. How challenging a time is it for him at the moment?
Well, he picked up a heel injury after the Leicester game. It was only minor, but it just probably felt that it was the game against Liverpool came too soon. It was only a couple of days recovery time. So that was disappointing for him. I thought he did well against Leicester, worked hard for the team, a good team performance. We scored 2 goals as a team, so he played his part in that. I imagine he'll be frustrated and disappointed not to play for his country because he wants to do that. But at the same time, he'll respect the decision of Stephen. That's life. You have to perform. You have to play. You have to you have to accept that the coach makes those decisions, and that's what Aaron does.
Gareth Southgate will make his decisions on his squad in around 15 minutes' time. Lewis Dunk's been left out on a few occasions since his win cap. What's Lewis got to do to maybe entice Gareth to pick him in the future, because he's obviously having an excellent season?
Well, I think Lewis has just got to focus on himself, on Brighton and Hove Albion, and doing his best for us and for him. Then the decision of Gareth, a bit like with Stephen, is their call. There's other factors that they can consider which we don't know about, and that's fine. All Lewis can do is just do what he's been doing all the time, which is to maintain a really, really high level. He's been a fantastic player for us. We love him here. Wouldn't swap him for anybody, because he understands the club, understands what we're about. But again, we can't control the other decisions, so we respect those decisions.
In terms of Newcastle, are you surprised to see them where they are in the table? They've got relatively a similar squad to where they were last season when they finished 12th.
Well, it's the Premier League, as I keep saying. I'm a bit boring when I keep saying the Premier League and the margins, and it's so tough. But anybody can find themselves down there if they're getting a bad run or confidence dips or whatever else happens. They've got a lot going on off the pitch as well. But when you see the attacking talent they have, Graham's got them organised and they play to their strengths now, which I think they've been trying to do all season. In fairness, they understand the counter-attack threat that they pose with Callum Wilson, with Maxim Man, with Almiron, with Fraser, with Willock. That there's goals and there's physicality there from springing from defence. So it's a really, really tough game. I don't look at the table. I don't look at the past, the form. I look at the quality they have, and it's going to be a tough game. We're going to need a really good level of performance.
Brilliant. Thanks, Graham.
Cheers.
Hi, Graham. Graham, when you look at Newcastle United, when you're preparing for them, is it really the marquee player that jumps off the team sheet? Is it Callum Wilson? And are Newcastle a different proposition with Callum Wilson in the side?
Well, he's a proven Premier League striker that can score goals. I think, like I said earlier, he's backed up by Maximum, who does it really, really well. His ability in 1v1 to carry the ball is incredibly high. His transition threat is as good as you can get at the Premier League level. And then Almiron or Fraser or Willock supporting. So they've got they have an organised defensive unit, which then plays to their strengths when the ball turns over with attacking big spaces with those guys that I've just mentioned. So it's really dangerous.
I suppose playing Newcastle now with all the off-the-field uncertainty around the club in terms of the players being mentioned in January transfer market and stuff like that. If you're a player in the Newcastle dressing room, you're probably fighting your cause now, fighting for your future, that you belong part of Newcastle as well. Does that almost lift the players that are there, the extra sort of 10%, to make sure that they're part of Newcastle's plans long-term going forward? And does that make it more wary and more of a threat for yourselves?
I have no idea. It depends on the individual, I guess. But whenever you play a team at this level, you have to respect the team. You have to respect the individuals in the team. They're going to be motivated. They're going to be trying to get the points. They're going to be fighting for the points. They'll have quality. They'll have Premier League quality. So for us, it's about focusing on ourselves, making sure we're in the right frame of mind to play the game, that we understand that it's not just, pick up from where we were left off at Anfield. We have to start again in a new game in a completely different context. And then we have to fight for the points. It's as simple as that.
And lastly, for me, Graham, when you look back this time around to last season in terms of the Premier League, is it enjoyable this term? Are you finding it more enjoyable so far compared to last year with the sort of struggles to survive? Is it more enjoyable this time around looking up the table? Well,
I'd be lying if I said it's a little bit more enjoyable, of course, because if you're fourth from top or fifth from top or eighth from top, it's better to be that than fourth from bottom. But the job in itself and the enjoyment that I get is working with the players, is trying to create an environment here that's improving, that's developing. we know you have to compete for the points, and it's football, and all that stuff. Anything can happen, and one day you're good and one day you're bad, depending on the result. That's fine, but yeah, I mean, it's better to be where we are than down the bottom. But we know that the season's a long way to go, and we need to keep fighting for the points.